Welcome to Reddit's Post Hunter. In today's episode, housekeepers who worked in casinos/hotels. What's the weirdest thing you walked into? Be careful, this is a NSFW video. If you like it, subscribe to the channel. Someone I know worked housekeeping at a casino. He walked in on a guy smearing TTT over the walls with his bare hands. He was pissed that he lost money and thought he was justified to do it. Housekeeping called security. He was charged and banned. Ah yes, the Eric Cartman method. It ain't gonna smell like a garden. Butters. I was working through a temp agency for Motel 6. So one of the other workers had a room to clean. The occupants were supposed to be gone. So the worker goes into the room. And there's a man tied up in the bed with some type of BDSM outfit on. He was gagged also. She didn't even help him, lol, she just called the cops. He was fine, it was a kink of his. But the other person just left him tied up and took all his things. Not me, but my friend from Ukraine worked at a crappy casino hotel in Wendover, Nevada. Because they would sponsor his work visa. He wasn't a housekeeper but would have to do maintenance in rooms. He said one day he went to a room where the people had already checked out. And there was a chicken in the room. Like a live chicken. Just chilling there. Maybe the story is funnier when he tells it with his accent. Why is chicken in room? We will never know why chicken was in room. I used to work in reservations in a big chain hotel in London. Housekeeping once told us there was one regular guest who used to always leave a single whole intact raw egg in the bed when they checked out. Nobody ever figured out why or where on earth they got that single raw egg in the middle of central London. Grocery stores aren't frequent in the area and they certainly don't sell eggs one by one. Edit, my first silver. Thank you very much. Edit 2. I didn't say it's a mission impossible to get eggs in London. There's a bit of overreaction here. But the type of guest/hotel/area combination. The whole situation was particularly peculiar. Perhaps it's the same guy who brought a live chicken in the other comment. They randomly found a chicken in the room. But which came first? Edit. Thanks for my first award ever. Relatively new to Reddit. Much appreciated. A couple came to this luxury dude ranch I worked at and spent over $5,000 to stay there only to not come out of their room the entire time. Went in to clean the room when they left and saw incredibly expensive and opened alcohol and boxes of X toys around the room. On the bed they left a note that said enjoy. We threw out the toys. Who the duck would use a used X toy left by an unknown person, and got hammered that night. They didn't use the X toys, they used the bottles. For real, the toys were still in the box. I worked for a hotel chain in Colorado, and one day my coworker and I went to strip a bed. And the bed was full of oranges. The dresser oranges. Side table, cans of mandarin oranges. Not exactly shocking or disgusting, but it was weird. Maybe they were doing a self-cleanse? Vitamin C in excess equals diarrhea. Alternatively, they could have been from an Asian country where mandarins specifically mean good luck or long life. One could also trigger a miscarriage by ingesting a ton of vitamin C. Or maybe they just really like oranges. Damn. This is related but not exactly the question. When my wife and I were looking at wedding venues, one we went to was a hotel. The event manager wanted to take us up and show us the honeymoon suite. She opened the door, and there were two old men, like 60s 70s, shirtless drinking vodka in the room. She was so extremely embarrassed and apologetic. She was very sweet too, but you could tell she was so mad at whoever screwed that up for her. We didn't choose the place, wasn't why. But I hadn't thought about that in a while. And figured someone else may get a kick out of it. I worked as a concierge for an upscale hotel, so, naturally, because there wasn't a line for my desk, I fielded complaints regularly. One day a woman, very nice and patient, rare, calmly explained to me that her 5-year-old opened the door to their bathroom and there was a housekeeper pooping in there. The housekeeper and the boy screamed so loudly that I had already gotten noise complaints from the adjacent rooms. Needless to say, that family got a free night and an upgrade. Edit, gold. You all made my day. When you gotta go, you gotta go. Should have locked the door though. I walked in on a couple sleeping on the bathroom floor of a hotel room in the hotel I work for. The bed was untouched and everything was normal with that one exception. Drunk AF no doubt. Oh, I got one. I was a night auditor though. This one starts out benign enough. My NA shift starts, and I have a small line. It's Saturday and we're near a couple of casinos, not unusual. A very polite man checks in and rents a top level suite for him and his wife. I get him in and start checking in the next couple. Being distracted, I barely noticed the previous couple come back in. Only that the wife was partially obscured by the luggage cart and I remember thinking to myself, that's an ugly woman. The night is quiet and I leave. I come in the next night to hear what unfolded after I left. The couple never came back down to check out and have not been seen since. When housekeeping entered the room they immediately alert the FDM. Every surface of the room is covered in lube, the bed, the couch, the jacuzzi. Even the mini fridge is covered in bottles and bottle of lube and baby oil. We know for sure it's lube because a dozen bottles are left in the tub. But wait, there's more. In addition to the lube, there is a rather large horse dildo, left behind with thick black scuff marks, and cracked down the center. My FDM, in her infinite wisdom, decides that they must have been junkies. And this dildo is where they are hiding their needles. She decides to pick it up to open it safety reasons, but when she does, all that falls out is a rather impressive motor that has been burned out. The icing on this cake comes when they review the security tape. The wife is clearly a man in a wig. It's a big burly dude wearing a cheap wig. I have no idea why this isn't getting more attention. There's a million dildos in this thread but none of them have the motor burned out. Jesus. Not a housekeeper but I was a bartender at a Marriott hotel years ago. Along with regular bartending duties, I also delivered bar orders as part of room service. One night I received a typical order, wine, beer, from a room that called down to the bar. I brought the drinks to the room and was greeted by an early 50s man wearing a white robe. He greeted me and asked me to place the drinks on a dresser fairly close to door. As I went to place the drinks down I noticed the bed had between 10 and 13 dildos laid out neatly along the foot of the bed. The sizes ranged from normal to horse. They were evenly spaced and all facing towards the headboard. While he was signing I made my way to the door and as soon as he handed me the book, I smiled and said thank you, have a great night. He just smiled and that was it. 0% acknowledgement on his end. I was an IT guy for a casino. Got a call that a guest couldn't get his device connected to the Wi-Fi, so I had to go up and give him a hand. Come to get his tablet connected. He's in the room. Older guy, 60 plus, wearing a pair of gold booty shorts. He's got 3 girls, IDs meant they had to be 21, but they weren't much more than that, in there with him. Thongs and fuzzy high-heeled slippers. Topless, shameless. They want to connect the iPad so he can play some video to go along with the game they're playing. Couple bags of toys and tubes of stuff scattered all around the room. 2 of the girls were getting impatient and already playing with each other by the time I got there. I've got my own kinks so, who am I to judge? Got his stuff connected, and they were able to get his movie, and got it playing on the TV in the room. He tipped me a small baggie of Molly and a couple $100, all in $50s. I took the money, and let him keep the drugs. Find out later, he was a VIP card member, and typically dropped $20 grand or so on the tables. Edit, could someone else make a snarky comment about X and Molly? I had no idea they were the same drug, because I've been clean for at least 22 years. I used to do ecstasy back in the 90s as a pill. I recognized the pills in the bag. He said it was a bag of Molly so I assumed it was a mixed bag of goodies. Man knows how to spend his money. Late to reply, but you might find it funny. Not a housekeeper, but heard it from one. In Russia at a holiday place with chalets. Businessman there with his mistress. As is normal in Russia, he wanted a BBQ, shashlik, but it was raining. Not to be deterred, he set up his grill inside the room. Was surprised by the fact that the smoke alarm went off and the resort wanted him to pay for the smoke damage to the room. Oh. It is the end, at least for now. If you like it, please subscribe to the channel for more content. Thanks, stranger. See you in the next video.